Hey guys, it's Marty from owingsart.com, and today I am super excited to be talking about some new things from my favorite paint maker in the entire world, Schmincke. Schmincke is a German paint manufacturer, and just recently they announced 35 new colors that they're going to add to their watercolor palette. They're celebrating their 125th anniversary, and I believe this is part of that rollout, the anniversary celebration. In addition to that, Schmincke just announced and has introduced on the market dot cards. So a lot of you have been enamored and loved the fact that companies like Daniel Smith introduced dot cards so that you could swatch out colors and decide which ones you wanted to add to your palette. Well, Schmincke has followed suit, and we'll see those dot cards today. But first, we're going to take a visit over to my favorite art store in the universe, Wet Paint. We'll have a talk with one of the owners from Wet Paint, Scott, who's a great guy, super knowledgeable about all things art related. We'll take a look at the new colors. I'll swatch out the dot cards, and if you stay for the end, I'll give you a special discount code that you're going to want to stick around for. In addition to that, we'll have some fun. So buckle up, here we go with a visit to Wet Paint. So let's walk in.
All right, this is Scott, by the way, for you who are just watching right now.
Yeah, so
That's Scott.
Since I've started working in the industry, we've been able to access European brands like Schmincke,
Bam, bam.
Yep, right down there.
which also we carry in a half pan, which is super popular. We're going to have new hand-painted color charts to replace this one, which I'm pretty sure I mounted this in around 1998.
Yeah? Is it that old, really? Yeah?
This one might be. But to go from this and the half pans, just from a half shopping at the art supply store is touching this stuff.
Yeah, right?
It's a game piece. It's a medicine. It's a powerful small component of the creative process.
Bam!
But
Yeah, these are beautiful.
we're going to have to reorganize our line and put another tray in because they're adding so many colors, 35 colors, and they're only retiring 5 or 6.
Bam!
Modern pigments. They're going to come out with bright anthraquinones and azos and pyrroles and things like that. And there are colors like that.
Yeah.
I was impressed at how deep they're going with their blacks and their umbers and their browns, because what people are calling for more, as we were talking about with the Smith, is the control of the granularity of the pigment. And so we're getting some great mineral pigments
Right.
out of the new Schmincke colors as well.
Okay.
Let's take a little closer look at what exactly Scott's talking about. So if you go to the Schmincke website and you scroll down a little bit, there is lots of information on the 35 new colors they're issuing, including 10 new red colors, which is super cool. And then there's 3 new one pigment violet colors, 4 new black tones, and 8 new brown tones. And those are the blacks and browns that Scott alluded to just a few seconds ago there. But what I'll do today is I'll take a look at each one of these colors. We'll swatch them out, and I'll go through the list, complete list for you. But we got quinacridones, perlines, an ultramarine, transparent iron oxide, which is great. Those are the 3 new transparent colors: the transparent iron oxide, the transparent sienna, as well as a transparent umber, which is really great, and I think basically puts it on par with what, say, Daniel Smith has to offer in terms of those browns, which I think that's pretty cool. And that's, again, what Scott was mentioning. So that's over at the Schmincke website. Now let's return to the conversation with Scott from Wet Paint. Bam!
And now we're back into kind of the watercolor stuff.
And you're carrying, like, these are when artists, painters, professionals, and non-professionals come and look, they usually start like with the arches. That's kind of the prototypical.
It's the name brand and has been forever.
Right.
Arches Mill continues an uninterrupted run of making this paper, which people rely on the quality of it. The felts that put the finish on the cold press must be a perfect combination that they've got there, because it's got the right amount of regular surface to it, so that you get your highlights.
Yes.
and your wells in the paper are holding the darker color, so that you come across with a wash and still have tone variation in a watercolor.
Yeah.
That's half their secret, I think, is how the cold press surface is, that it's regular without being machined. Arsh has trained many generations of artists.
Yes.
What the background color is, and the background color is the Arsh.
I think they're the longest continuous operating paper maker in the world, right?
Yeah, and the consistency is a big deal there. We've had other really fine papers in here. Fabriano Artistico is a great paper.
Yeah.
And recently we've had a really nice, extremely durable paper from Stonehenge.
Yes.
That is.
Yes, I could talk about that. Yeah.
Inexpensive. The Fluid 100. I think the trick to these is that rarely do you find a great professional grade paper that is bright white. So Fluid, it's brighter white than the Arch, but it's still not a Arctic white.
Right.
And this is their hot press, very smooth finish. But even this has a little bit of texture to it. It doesn't feel like it got squeezed through a press.
When you were out at you did the North American, was it Artist Trade?
The NAMTA, the National Art Materials Trade Association.
Yeah, and all these guys show up, right, to talk about their products and what's new. What can folks expect? I mean, what were you hearing that's maybe going to change the market or being
Well, I think this paper has gotten a lot of people's attention.
The Fluid.
Fluid, it is a newer paper. They make the Fluid 100, which is the rag paper, and then they have a Fluid watercolor paper, which is alpha cellulose, which means wood pulp, but an acid neutral one that gives you a little bit easier price point. But they've also picked up on stuff like the form factor.
Yes.
Okay. They've got the squares. They
got the landscape ones, don't 4x8 sheets.
They're paying a lot of attention to the smaller sizes and the portability, which is a reason that people are going to watercolor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Arch continues to make incredibly high quality stuff, but now we've got things to offer everybody from the amateur to the professional at different price points, different quality points, and different surfaces.
Yeah.
You try different stuff, you find different things. This one is a very different surface. It's not going to come up on film too well, but the surface on this is different, but it's got they've managed to avoid that trap of having it look like it just went through a calendaring mill, and their color is good. We don't stock anything that I can really knock.
Right, of course.
The store will carry a couple lines just to say, well, you don't want that.
But you do have a line of affordable papers for people that are.
I have a real strong opinion about making sure that people have decent stuff around in high quality, in high quantities. Because if you don't have the good stuff, you get less of a result. And if you don't have enough of it, you think it's precious and you aren't going to pick it up and use it until you're sure you're making a masterpiece.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of Strathmore Vision. This is their essentially taking the space of what had been the 200 series student paper.
Yeah.
That this is a 140 pound. It's kind of a student line of paper. You can take off their cover and decorate your own cover. But the fact is, that's the secret.
Yeah.
There's 30 sheets in there as opposed to 12 or 15. Use them.
And it's less than $10 at wet paint.
B paper, again, their Be Creative pad for $20.
Yeah.
You get a watercolor sketchbook, essentially.
Yes.
You're getting, again, 30 sheets of watercolor paper for $20 with a cover on it. Throw it in your bag and use it.
So here's we talked about the Stonehenge here.
Please don't put it under your car.
Yeah, well,
you're in the store, buy it and take it outside.
I like to put it under the car, but I don't know if anybody else will. But it says here, the Stonehenge, do the folks over at Legion, they distribute UPO as well?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And in fact, we could walk over to UPO and I'd be showing you essentially a one or two pads, because every time we bring it in, it flies right back out again.
Yeah.
You're talking about what's new and what's hot. UPO, which is it's a synthetic material. It feels a lot like a vellum.
Yep.
So it's hard, it's crisp, its absorbency is pretty much nil, and it's got a finish on it like a frosted acetate would.
Yeah.
But unlike an acetate, your wet medias stick to it.
Yeah. Bam! Michael Ginsberg, right? He's the Legion Paper CEO guy, and he was telling me that they're very soon wanting to put this paper into a sketchbook. So he was asking me questions. What kind of sketchbook would you like to see? What kind of sketchbook would you like to see this paper? And what do you think would sell in the store?
Personally, I like the stuff that comes in about one hand size.
Okay.
Similar to the way people are using journals right now. I think people will hold it and use it. They want to be able to throw it in their bag. There's something about a thick pad about that big, with a spiral on it.
Yeah.
You can flip around.
Yes.
That still is really compelling to use and fill. Anything bigger than that's unwieldy. But once you get up to about that 16-inch size,
I always think as an artist, if I carry that around, I'm just kind of showing off. Hey, look at me! I'm an artist. I've got this big pad here.
Well, I think the best thing about that, getting back to if you've got it, you're going to use it, is that if you've got a piece of paper this big, you're not going to start in the corner.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to start with your whole arm.
Yes.
And I need about that much space to start with my whole arm. You got to get your whole body into it.
What do you know about them doing anything with a sketchbook? Have you?
Not too much. Yeah.
Sometime
they didn't
soon.
ask my opinion, Mark.
Well, they will, I'm sure, when it comes time. Oh, we just put handbook. People love handbook.
Oh yeah, they do.
And they have an association with one of these watercolor papers. I can't remember.
Yep, we have. So we got them in. Where's my watercolor? Yeah, this is one that we were ordering quite frequently. Oh, here's the watercolor square.
Yeah, and just really nice paper too.
Yeah,
a little bit of a tone and texture to this paper.
Yeah, you know what I like about little things like handbook and Michael Rogers Press is some of the thought they put into things like spot to put your name. Sometimes there's just some entertainment inside, some good line art.
That's
inside
right.
the book. So when you're shopping for them, open them up, have a look.
I will. Scott is so knowledgeable and smart about art and art supplies that I could just spend hours and hours and hours talking to him about that stuff. Just a wonderful guy, and what a great guy to be a co-owner of an art store. Schmincke.card. Card. Schmincke.card. Oh yeah. Zoinks! Oh yeah! Bam! 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 Whoa! Schmincke.card. .card. Schmincke.card. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dots.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Beautiful, beautiful dots.
Bam! 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 Shazam!
Whoa! Bam! Bam! Yeah!
Bam! Shazam! 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 Shazam!
Bam! Schmincke.card. Card. Schmincke.card. Bam! Time to see these sweet new colors in action. I can't wait. Let's swatch them. Swatch them. Swatch them. You see those colors? Wow. Do. You see those colors? Wow. Wow. All right, here they are. A rutile yellow, a quinacridone gold hue, Turner's yellow, yellow orange, geranium red, vermilion light, quinacridone red light, perline dark red, ruby red deep, transparent red deep, Saturn red, Bordeaux, quinacridone magenta, potter's pink, perline violet, quinacridone purple, cobalt violet hue, phthalo sapphire blue, cobalt azure, French ultramarine, viridian, transparent green gold, spinel brown, maroon brown, transparent sienna, transparent ochre, Mars brown, green umber, transparent umber, mahogany brown, perline green, graphite gray, hematite black, Mars black, and brilliant opera rose. Whoa! There isn't one color on this swatch card that isn't awesome to me. These are really great additions to Schmincke's palette, and I myself am going to have to own some of these in the half pan format or tube, but the ones that really jump out are the quinacridone magenta, the quinacridone purple, the French ultramarine, which we have needed that for a long time, all these brilliant reds, There's a quinacridone red light that's really good. I love these blacks and browns, as Scott mentioned. They're just great. So my friend Anya from Dusseldorf, Germany is sending me one of these dot cards, and I feel doubly lucky because Darren over at Wet Paint gave me this one to test out for the channel. So that's just what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get another fresh dot card pretty soon. Matter of fact, Anya's just tracking the package for me now, and I think it'll arrive here at my house any day. So I'm pretty excited about that. What's spectacular about these dot cards is that really, you get a full sense of what the color is. And there is enough color in these little dots to actually do a little painting if you wanted to paint kind of small, which I think is pretty cool as well. I can't emphasize enough the coolness of a dot card, which basically gives the artist an opportunity to try before they buy. And if you buy higher end artist quality watercolor paints like Schmincke or Daniel Smith or any of the other brands that are sort of considered high end, and I just did a top 10 list with my 5 all-time greatest watercolor paints. Take a look at that. But if you pick among any of those 5 and then the next 5 on my top 10, you would really like to try the color out before you buy it. I mean, they're not cheap. Let's face it, watercolor paints from good quality manufacturers are not inexpensive. So if you're going to spend a significant amount of money, it's good to know what you're getting. And that's one of the many reasons I simply love dot cards. Bam! Bam! So how awesome is it to be able to try out paints this way? I just think, wow, this is just a really fun thing to do. Here's another quick look at the 35 new spectacular colors that Schmincke is bringing to us very soon. As a matter of fact, these have already been rolled out in Europe, and in America, one of the exclusive distributors of Schmincke, my friends over at wetpaintart.com or Wet Paint, and have I got a deal for you. So if you live in the continental United States and you want to pick these up, and you're in the 48 contiguous states, please go to Wet Paint and order these paints, because Wet Paint gave me a special code to help you out. If you go to wetpaintart.com, fill up your shopping cart, go to checkout, and you use the code OwingsArt5, you get free shipping. Whoa! Wow. So all you really have to do is load up your shopping cart full of stuff from Wet Paint, as long as it's not oversized or crazy nutso, and just go to the checkout, put in my special code, OwingsArt5, check out, and boom. If you're in the 48 contiguous states, free shipping from Wet Paint. That's pretty awesome. Schmincke paints, notebooks, pens, pencils, whatever art supplies you need, even if you don't need them, but you just want to enjoy, putting them on display or collecting them the way I do.
This is a message to the people of the future. If unfortunately you did not use the code during its special offer time, and you go to the website and you enter OwingsArt5 and the code does not work, please do not send me hate mail.
Because specials are only specials because they only last a limited time. I mean, they wouldn't be specials if they just went on forever and ever and ever. So it's very likely that this special is probably only, maybe it's a week or 2 weeks or a month. But I mean, if it goes on for 2 or 3 months, that'll be amazing. And that'll be because a bunch of you went over and loaded up your carts, went to the checkout, used the code OwingsArt5, and just suddenly at your doorstep, like Schmincke paints or dot cards or sketchbooks or watercolor paper or pens or pencils or ink or whatever, canvas, oil paint, whatever it is, Wet Paint has it. And if they don't have it, it probably doesn't exist. Anyway, Wet Paint doesn't pay me for any of this. Neither do the manufacturers that I featured in the video today. I'm just doing this because I love art supplies, and I really hope that you guys take advantage of this great deal. while it lasts. And if you can't tell, I've probably had like 6 cups of coffee.
But the thing is, use the code, go over there, get all the art supplies you need, and get them from Wet Paint. Did I mention that Wet Paint is awesome? Well, you're really going to have to hurry because this deal isn't going to last forever. And by the way, it's not valid in any place outside the universe, especially Klingon, Cardassian, and Romulan space.
If you enjoyed what you saw today and you like learning about art supplies and just thoughts on art, hit my website at owingsart.com, scroll down, and just on your right there, click the blue follow button right there and join these other good folks. And about once a month, you'll get a little note that I've posted something new on the website. And don't forget to subscribe and comment. I love to hear from you guys. Always try to respond quickly and timely to your comments, and don't forget to share the video. Well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at Schmincke's new colors as much as I did, and those dot cards are amazing. And it was great visiting with Scott over at Wet Paint, one of the owners there. Darren's the other owner, and he and I have long conversations about art supplies as well. It was just good to get in there and talk to Scott and have him give us his insights and share some of his knowledge about what's awesome in the art supply business right now. If you get a chance to get over to Wet Paint, it's in the Twin Cities area. If you're passing through, or maybe you have to spend $8 million on a plane ticket, why not come anyway and spend some of that money at Wet Paint? It's a pretty awesome place. All right, well, that's it for today. This has been Marty for owingsart.com. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to check out owingsart.com.